Thank you for joining the collective. We have a reformer class, and for this class I am using a yoga block, and that is only to support my head in the side lying position. So if you have a little pillow or you just want to lift your headrest, that's all this will be used for. And then I also have my sitting box, and before we even start, I have my sitting box set long box style right here next to the bottom of my foot bar, pressed against the reformer. So let's get started. Set that yoga block to the side or your pillow if you choose to use one today. Set your box up, and then of course let's start with footwork. So load those springs up. And then meet me on your back for footwork. All of our springs on. If you want a lighter load today, just take off the yellow or the blue to lighten that load a little bit. I want you to roll your shoulders down your back, opening your chest, and then let's bring our heels nice and narrow on the foot bar. Feet are flexed, toes are pulling back. Send the carriage all the way out. Resist the springs as you come in. Pressing out and in, working in that full range of motion. I want you to try to hug the inner thighs together, keeping that midline connection. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale as you resist those springs. Now on that exhale, this is where I want you to try to close the rib cage together. We're going to knit that rib cage on our exhale. We want our pelvis and our hips as still as possible. Now we're going to go into the bottom half. Tap the carriage home. Lift to halfway. Hold it here for a 3 count. 3, 2, 1. Tap it home. Press to halfway. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Bring it home. Just like that. Make sure you're giving me that 3 count hold. And then resisting. Squeeze those inner thighs together here. Tailbone stays anchored to the mat. So we don't want to be lifting the tailbone or tucking the tailbone too much. We want a nice neutral pelvis. It's remaining still. 1 more. And then send the carriage all the way out, back to that full range of motion. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale as you come in. Nice job. Make sure those toes are pulling back towards your shins. We want a nice active foot here. Or I should say feet. I want both of your feet doing it. Back to that bottom half. Lift to halfway. Squeeze the inner thighs. 3, 2, 1. Drop it home. Press. Nice job. I tend to see the tailbone lift a lot as we hold and press. I want you to make sure your pelvis stays neutral as you press out. Keep those inner thighs together. 1 more. Press to halfway. Nice job. Send the carriage all the way out. And then bring it back home. We're going to drop down to Pilates V. Toes are on, heels are lifted and connected, knees and toes are tracking outwards at a diagonal. Send the carriage all the way out. Resist the springs as you come back in. We're not taking that free ride. We're resisting, resisting, resisting. Keep active pressure between the heels. They're not just touching, but they're pressing into each other. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale as you bring it back home. On that exhale, focus on the core. Everything tightens like a corset. Now we're going to go to top half. So press all the way out. Bring it to halfway. 3, 2, 1. Press it all the way out. Halfway. We're still doing that 3 count hold again. And out. Again, be mindful of the pelvis. Hips are stable. We're not letting the booty lift off the mat here. We're not arching the low back. 3, 2, 1. Press up. Back to halfway. 3, 2, 1. Press. 2 more. Press. 3, 2, 1. Back to that full range of motion. All the way in, all the way out. Find that breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to resist the springs. Nice job. We're going to go back to that top half on your next one. Here we go. Bring it to halfway. 3, 2, 1. Press out. 3, 2, 1. Squeeze to the top. You got it. 3, 2, 1. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. 3 more. Final 2. Last one. Hold it at the top. Separate your heels. Let your heels drop under for a stretch. If it feels good, bend one knee. And then come all the way in. Great job. We're going to finish foot with our feet nice and wide. Heels are on the corners. Resituate if you need to. Send the carriage all the way out, pressing through the heels. Resist, resist. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale as you come home. Even weight in both of the heels. We always have one leg that's a little bit more dominant, that wants to take over. Make sure both legs are working the same. That takes some concentration sometimes. I know we just go into autopilot, but really try to focus and make sure both legs are pressing evenly. On your next one, I want you to bring the carriage down to halfway. And we're going to pulse up an inch, down an inch. Really pressing through the heels. Find that stability in the pelvis. Tailbones anchored to the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2. Back to that full range. All the way out. All the way in. Lengthening out. Resisting as we come back home. This is our final set here of footwork. Warming up the body. All right, let's bring it to halfway to finish with those pulses. Press, press. I want your focus to be the lift. Lift. Knees are tracking over the toes. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Press all the way out. Resist as you come home. Great job. Hug those knees into your chest. A little rock side to side. And then lay your legs over the foot bar. Fingertips up to the ceiling. We're coming into that roll up to change our springs. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, chin to chest. Coming all the way up. Nice job. We're going to go 1 red, 1 blue. 1 medium, 1 light, 1 red, 1 blue. And then roll yourself all the way back down onto the mat. All right, make sure you're a little bit away from the shoulder blocks. And then you're going to put your hands in the short loops. Fingertips go straight up to the ceiling. And then your legs are going to go straight up to the ceiling. On your exhale, press your palms to the mat. Inhale, float back up. Exhale, press. Inhale, float. Now let's add 1 leg. 1 leg is going to lower and back up. Pressing, switching sides. So we're going to alternate the legs. Nice job. Now let's add that crunch. You're going to lift head, neck, shoulders as 1 leg lowers. Resist the springs back to the mat. Other side. Exhale every time those palms come down and you crunch up. 1 more on each side. Even it out. Reaching through those fingertips. Nice job. Feet find the foot bar. Relax for a second. All right, second set, we're going to start with our hands all the way down on the mat. Open the chest, and then carefully bring those legs to tabletop. We're going to keep our elbows by the rib cage. Elbows don't move, but we're going to bend and press to the mat. Working on those tricep presses here. Bend and press. Now send one leg out. Bend everything back in. Other leg. Reaching out long. Bending it back in. Out. And in. Now option, layer in that crunch. Elbows stay down. You crunch up. Lower back down to the mat. Exhale every time you press those palms down. Think belly button to spine as you crunch up. One more on each side. Final one. Nice job. Feet find the foot bar. Relax for a second. We have one more set of supine abs here. We're going to make those Charlie's Angels hands. So you're going to have your pointers and your thumb connect. The last 3 fingers interlace. And then reach the hands up to the ceiling right above the chest. Now legs are going to go straight up again. This time we're going to open the legs into center split and reach our hands through. Close the legs, lift the arms. Exhale, reaching it through. Inhale, close it together. Option, add in that crunch. Big exhale, lifting head, neck, shoulders off the mat. Slowly lower down. I want it nice and slow as you lower down. Three more. Reaching through. Option, your head stays down. Final one. See how far you can crunch up. Nice job. Feet to the foot bar. Hook your straps up. Lay your legs over the foot bar again. And we're going to roll all the way up. Fingertips to the ceiling. Big inhale to prepare. Exhale all the way up. Great job. We're going to stay on these springs. One red, one blue. But now I want you to get your little pillow or your soft yoga block, or just lift that headrest for support in our side lying position. One red, one blue is pretty heavy, but that's what we're going for today. I want you to take the long loop from in front of you. Your feet come to the side. Pull it all the way out. Hold on to the rope. The long loop is going to go above the outside leg, the leg closest to the foot bar. And then scoot your booty all the way down so you can lay on your side. My head is going to come to the headrest. I'm going to feel behind me. Make sure that my booty is all the way back. My hips are stacked. My shoulders are stacked. And super important, I want to create space on my top side of my body. So I want space between my rib cage and my hip. So I'm almost going to want to press this hip away from me to create this space. Now I want you to keep the space there for this entire series right here. We want space here. Knees are bent to a 90 degree. Without moving your carriage, I want you to lift the top leg, lower down. Lift the knee and heel as high as you can without opening your hips to the ceiling. So hips stay stacked here, and it's just a rotation from the hip socket. Now, if your carriage is moving while you're doing this, that means you're not applying pressure into your strap. Apply pressure into your strap to lift and lower. So I want your carriage to not move at all. We're working in complete isolation here. Lifting and lowering. What tends to happen is this knee pulls forward, moving our carriage. Keep it still. 3, 2. Now hold that hydrant. Flex your foot. Press out above the corner of your foot bar. Bend it back in. Pressing out, bending in. Keep this space on the top side. Remember the space between the ribs and the hips? Keep that space. Press out and in. Out and in for 3, 2. On your next one, hold it out. Reach through that heel. Little circles. You got it. Keep that heel just higher than the hip. Make sure our hips are facing forward, not to the ceiling. Reverse the direction. You got it. Reach to that heel. 3, 2, 1. Bend it in. Rest for a second. All right, one more set here, and we're just going to do a combo of those 2 movements that we started with. A hydrant and hold, a press, and then lower back out of that hydrant. So get yourself set up. Make sure we have that space here between the bottom of our rib cage and our hip. Don't move the carriage in the hydrant. Lift the leg, no movement. Press. We get movement on the press. Bend it back in, back to the no movement to lower the leg. Lift, press, bend, and lower. Lift, press, bend, and lower. I want you to go slow so you can feel that isolation here. No movement in that carriage, not until we press. You got it. 3 more. Last one. Woo! Good job. All right, swing those legs out in front of you. Roll yourself up. Hold on to that rope. Guide your carriage all the way home. Good work. We're going to go to 1 blue. So pop off that red. 1 blue. And then I'm going to have you walk around to your box that we had set up over here on the floor. All right. If you wanted to go heavier, we're going to do the shoulder here. You could be on 1 red. So know that that is also an option to be 1 red. I'm going to go 1 blue. Choice is yours. All right, so we're going to walk our knees all the way back to the edge of our carriage, and then the edge of our box, and then our hands come to the top of the box so our spine can be long. If our knees are too far under, we can't have that nice long spine. I want that flat back, reaching through the tailbone, reaching through the crown of your head. Now I want you to take your inside hand and hold on to the shoulder block. Ideally, your wrist is straight, so we're not pressing here. We have a strong wrist. From here, I just want you to send the carriage out, resist as it comes back in. Pressing out, resisting. Inhale to press. Exhale, feel your core contract. You can stay here or hold the carriage out, lift the opposite leg. So it's my right arm, left leg. And then you're going to bend the elbow, bend the knee. Press out, resist back in. Reaching long, resisting in. Strong wrist. Use that breath. And in 4, 3, pull that core in. 2, on your next one, hold it out. Just the leg, you're going to pulse higher, higher for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend it all the way in. Great job. From here, we're just slightly going to rotate towards our carriage, just a tiny diagonal, and then our palms come down onto the carriage. We're going to press out into a kneeling plank. So send the carriage away, drop the hips, find that plank, and then resist it in, and then we're going to get some little rotation here as we rotate and pull it home. Pressing out. Pull it home. It's more like a side bend. We're kind of side bending to bring that carriage all the way in. You're welcome to stay here, or we're going to take it on to the toes. We're going to find that full plank here. Hips stay low as you twist to bring it home. Pressing out. I want you to feel that plank for a second, and then bring it back in. Nice job. 3 more. Feel that plank, squeeze the glutes, pull the core in. Last 2. See if you can bring that carriage all the way home. Twist it into home. Final 1. Twist it into home. Great job. All right, we're going to go 1 red now. So if you were on the blue like I was, put on that red. And then we're going to take our box, short box. We're going to go into a side split series, a standing split series. So staying where you are, hold on to the foot bar, step onto the platform first, and then up onto the box. So I like to do the splits with the box on, just in case you lose your balance. You have something on both sides to grab onto. So we're going to start with our classical center split. Press the hips forward, squeeze the glutes, reach tall through the crown of the head. Weight is even in both the feet. Press out as far as you can go. Hold it here for 2 seconds, and then resist, 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 resist. Inhale to lengthen out. Exhale to resist those springs. Make sure you're staying nice and narrow. So imagine there's a wall in front of you and a wall behind you, and you cannot touch those walls. So I don't want the booty going out. Squeeze the glutes, hips are forward. We take it out. Resist, resist, resist. Make sure you feel that split for like a 2 count. Hold it here, really feel it. And then exhale, resist, resist, resist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, resist. One more. Lengthening out. Resisting. Nice job. Now we're going to go into a skater. So we're going to drop down into a squat. My nose, knees, and toes are in alignment. My spine is long, a long line from the crown of my head to my tailbone. My weight is going to stay on the platform, and I'm going to send the carriage out. Resist it back in. Sending it out. Resisting back in. Press. So my weight is staying here. I'm not moving from over the platform. I'm just simply sending the carriage out, resisting it back in. Now, if you want to add rotation, we're going to rotate towards the mirror, pull it back in. Rotate towards the mirror, towards your foot bar if you don't have a mirror there. Rotate towards the foot bar and back in. Last one, towards the foot bar and back in. Now lift all the way up. Now we're going to put the two together in a combo. Center split, hold it here. 1, 2. Bring it in. Find that squat. Press and rotate. Bring it in. Rise all the way up. Center split. Exhale to come in. Drop it down. Rotate. Remember, you don't have to rotate if it's not feeling good for your body today. Center split, the weight goes with you. Skater, the weight stays over the platform. 2 more sets. Taking it out, resisting it home. 1 skater. Last one. Taking it out, bringing it home, dropping down. Find that skater. Great job. Carefully step off behind you with your carriage leg is going to step down, and then your platform leg. Now let's put our box over on the other side. Long box style. Nice job. Now we're going to add that blue back on. So we're 1 red, 1 blue, and we're going to do that glute series on this side. So we take the long loop, the side you haven't done yet. You're going to pull it all the way over, put the long loop on your outside leg above the knee, your leg closest to the foot bar, and then scoot your booty all the way down, lay on your side with your head on your pillow, your yoga block, or if your headrest is lifted, and then feel behind you that your booty is all the way back and down. Now remember, we want the space between the rib cage and the hip. The entire time we're thinking about lengthening here. Now bend those legs to a perfect 90 degree. My knee is in front of my hip and my heels are below my knee. Do not move the carriage. Lift the top leg and lower down. Hips stay stacked. Make sure our hips aren't opening up to the ceiling. If the carriage is moving, it's most likely because your knee is coming towards your chest. So you have to put pressure into that strap as you lift the leg and lower the leg. It is slow. 3, 2, keep the space. Now hold the hydrant. You're going to press through your heel over the top corner of the foot bar. Bend it in. My knee and heel stay lifted as long as my hips stay facing in front of me. I do not want my hips to open towards the ceiling. Pressing out, bending in. Pressing out, bending in for 4, 3, keep that knee high, 2, hold it out, reach through that heel, little circles. Nice big circle, nice little circles. 2, 1, other way. You got it for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend it in, reset for a second if you need to. Now we do the combo. Hydrant, hold, press, bend it back in, lower down. Remember, there's no movement on the hydrant part of this. All right, we're going to lift into hydrant, no movement. Press to the corner, the front corner of your foot bar. We have movement there. Bend it back in, movement there. Now lower, no movement. Lift, press, bend, and lower. Lift, press, bend, and lower. Great job. Don't forget about that space between the rib cage and the hip bone. Make sure that booty stays in the back corner, that it's not tucking under. 4, 3, 2, final 1. Nice job. Swing the legs in front of you. Carefully roll yourself up. Hold on to that strap so you can take it off. Guide your carriage home. Now I'm going back to my blue, so I'm taking off my red so I can kneel on my box for the presses. If you wanted that red for a heavier press, you're welcome to keep a red on instead of a blue. So I am 1 blue here, kneeling on the edge of my box. Hands come to the top because we want that long spine. Inside hand comes to the shoulder block. Make sure we're not creasing at the wrist. We want a strong wrist here. Inhale to press out. Exhale, resist it back in. Press and resist. On your next one, press out and hold. Option, lift the opposite leg. So my outside leg, inside hand. Bend everything in. Press everything away. Trying to keep my hips still, my shoulders square, core pulled in, reaching out, resisting in. You got it. Out, resist. We're finding work in both directions. 3, 2, on your next one, hold it out, just that back leg, pulse. Pulse, squeeze that glute for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Nice job. From here, we just rotate to face our carriage, come down to our palms. We're going to start with that kneeling plank. You press the carriage out, flatten the hips, feel your plank, resist, side bend to bring the carriage all the way home. Pressing out, feel that plank, hips lower, squeeze the glutes. A little twist here to bring it home. All right, option here, take it to the toes if you would like. Finding that full plank, feel that plank for a second, and then resist, side bend, see if you can bring the carriage all the way home. Feel the plank, squeeze the glutes. Twisting it home. We have 4 more. I want you to take this as slow as you can. Feel the plank. Resist, 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 resist. Final 3. Taking it out. Resisting it back home. All the way in. Feel that plank. Last one. Resist, resist, resist. Great job. Roll those wrists out. Now we're going to finish with that center split, side split series. So I'm going to put my red back on. Take off my blue. So 1 red, 1 medium, and then I'm going to put my box back on just for safety if I need to grab onto it or if I need to press my foot into something. So we stand on the platform first and then up to the carriage. Squeeze the glutes, press the hips forward, growing tall from the crown of the head. We press out for a 2 count. Resist, resist, resist. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, resist those springs. And when I say lengthen, I mean growing tall through the top of the head and then resisting like a corset in the core, resisting those springs. All the way out. Feel it for that 2 count. Resist. Remember we talked about a wall being in front of you and a wall being behind you. And you want to avoid touching the walls. Nice job. 2 more here, and then we go into our skaters. Last one. Bring it all the way in. Now we squat down. My weight stays over the platform. My nose, knees, and toes are in alignment. We send it out, resist it in. Press it out and in. So my body weight stays over the platform. I'm not going with my carriage. I'm sending my carriage without me. Yes? All right, here we have the option to add rotation. We're going to rotate towards the foot bar as we press it away. Come back to center. Rotate towards the foot bar over that supporting leg and back in. Nice and slow. Both directions, take it slow. 2 more. Let the carriage come home. Rise all the way up. Now we go into our combo. We're going to split, resist, squat, and rotate with that skater. Taking it up and out. Taking it in. Dropping down. Use that breath to help you. We have 2 more sets. I want you to slow it down just a little bit. Last set here. Find that skater with rotation. Nice job. Stepping off behind you with the carriage leg and then the platform leg. Nice job. Let's put our box to the side, our yoga block to the side, and let's finish with some feet and straps. Let's go 2 reds. So add on that second red and meet me on to your back. Rolling all the way down. All right, feet find the foot bar. Press yourself out 1 foot at a time. Step into those long loops. Let's lift our feet towards the ceiling, hip distance apart. So I'm going to keep about 6 to 8 inches between my heels, and I want to maintain that distance as I lower the legs. Exhale, lift the legs. Lower and lift. Try to keep that exact same distance the entire time. So we're working on that stability from our hip socket to try to maintain equidistance. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Make sure our legs aren't dropping too low. We want to feel the low abs fire and then resist, resist. 1 more. Now lower your legs down. Find your Pilates V, heels together, toes apart. Going into our frogs. Frogging it in, pressing it out. Pressing out. Nice job. Keeping the connection between the heels. Squeezing inner thighs as you press out. 2 more. Nice job. Lift the feet up to the ceiling. We're going to finish with our leg circles. My favorite way to end a class. Getting that fresh blood recirculating throughout the body. Make sure that tailbone stays anchored, hips stay stable. One more in this direction. And then take the circle the other way. Resisting the springs. No free rides here. Inhale to lower. Exhale as you resist. Last one. Nice job. Hug those knees into the chest. Let that tailbone lift off. Little rock side to side, relieving any low back tension that you have. Close your eyes. One final inhale through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. Take a moment to appreciate everything that your body did for you today during this class. Thank you so much for joining me on The Collective. I will see you next time.